Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. So this is a fun new little series. We're going to be doing the readings by menstrual phase, by following the menstrual cycle. Now, you do not have to be a person who experiences the menstrual cycle in order to watch these messages. Nor do you have to be in that particular phase if you are a menstruating person in order to watch, that particular video. If you follow your cycle or if you track it, then you can save, the other 3 videos and come back to them once you are in that phase or that part of your cycle and, just see how the messages line up with whatever is going on in your life. But, there are 4 phases to the menstrual cycle. So we're going to do a video on menstruation, the follicular, ovulation, and the luteal phase. And we're just going to be using those as themes to build the readings around. So, we're not going to get into biology and hormones and all of that stuff. Maybe just in the sense of, building up and shedding and releasing, that type of thing. But I've already done one reading so far, and it was really beautiful. So I'm really excited to do the other 3 and put these out there. And yeah. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel. And so, yeah, let's just get into the reading. All right. We are at the luteal phase, which typically tends to come with irritation. That's where we experience PMS or PMDD. I've also found, this is not medical advice by any means, but I have found that Pepsid AC helps tremendously. Thank you, Nina Poole. With PMS. And because, oh my God, my whole life it has been terrible. And that at least, Pepsid AC, at least makes it a bit more manageable. Also, I always know now, I always know when my luteal phase starts, because I will be either in the bakery section of the grocery store. I will be at a bakery in general looking for buttercream, anything with buttercream frosting on it. Or I'll be looking at ice cream sandwiches. And sure enough, I'll open my little tracking app and it's day 1 of luteal phase. So anyway, yeah, but the themes that we're focusing on in this reading then would be discomfort. Usually discomfort found in truth, because it's that irritation, just kind of seeing what isn't working. What is poking the bear? What is causing, irritation? And, we're leading up to the release, or, the shed, basically, that comes with the menstrual phase. So what is it that needs to be released? What truths do need to be seen so that they can be let go of? And yeah, I mean, let's just see where we wind up for the luteal phase. And again, you do not have to be a menstruating, person in order for there to be a message here for you. We're using the menstrual cycle as themes for each of these readings. So if you're here, of course, there is a message for you. Three of Pentacles, the High Priestess. I've been getting 5 tarot cards. It doesn't necessarily have to be. That's just, what I've been doing. So let's see. 4 of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. Beautiful. Oh, and the Fool at the bottom of the deck. These readings have been, I'm so glad I did this series, and maybe, I don't know, like maybe I'll make it like a monthly thing, Sorry. I was trying to make some room to put this. Beautiful. Okay. And let's get our Sacred Cycles cards, which I've been getting 2 of. Summer, which we are in. And one more. Dark Moon, which is interesting because we had the Dark Moon with the Luteal Phase at the bottom of the deck. I haven't even been looking at the bottom of the deck, but we're going to read about it. But I believe it would be so helpful if I could remember anything ever. In part, just so I could build on on these readings, but I cannot. I don't know if, well, yeah, anyway. But one of the other readings, and I just can't remember if it was the ovulation reading that I just did, had the dark moon over here. And then it also had the last quarter moon on this side, and that card was in the follicular phase reading on this side. So I don't, like, it's just kind of cool how they've just been, kind of linked. The companion. And the lion, which is like very summer too. It's, usually like the lion is associated with Leo. Do I need to like cover Miss Ma'am up here for YouTube? Okay, so let's read the summer card. My gifts are welcomed and needed now. Oh, my dog gonna start barking. Warmth radiates around and within you during the height of the summer season. Hang on. There he goes. Is this loud too? Like all of a sudden. Sorry about that. If that was loud, all of a sudden I'm like, why is everything loud? Okay. At the peak point of the Earth's own sacred cycle, there is an abundance of natural beauty to be witnessed all around you. Bountiful farm crops, longer days of sunlight, time spent with loved ones. This is a time of massive expansion and connection. Just as the earth provides many offerings for your nurturing and nourishment, you are now being asked to share your own gifts. If you have been working on something but have played your cards close to your chest, the time has come for you to show your hand and let others in on the magic you are creating. That's like literally this combo over here, the Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So I'll probably be repeating that once we get over there. If you are not quite sure what it is you are supposed to be sharing at this time, consider what you have to offer from your heart, which almost even kind of feels like the Three of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Whatever first comes to mind, that is it. There's no need to make it complicated. Let your inner vibrant sunshine illuminate from your heart space. You'll find connection with others from this abundant space of generosity. Beautiful. And then let me read, we'll read the dark moon once we kind of get over there, but I want to read the luteal phase. It says, I clearly see the path in front of me, which is also like interesting because over here on this side, we have this stream or this river here. There's a river going through the Two of Cups. There's a river that's happening on the Fool as well, which is feeling very path, right? At least to me. After ovulation, estrogen dips while progesterone steps forward to take the lead during the luteal phase. With the help of progesterone's calming and analytical influence, This phase is your time for increased discernment, though, which is feeling very Three of Pentacles and High Priestess as well. Though this phase is often associated with challenging emotions, there is wisdom within this heightened awareness. This is a reminder that your perceptive abilities are your superpower, especially at this time. They allow you to see all angles, analyze the details, and acknowledge what you deem to be in or out of alignment. As you find clarity around what is working and what is not, you pave the way toward greater ease in preparation for the phase of releasing that arises naturally after this stage, menstruation. This letting go feels not only logical, but also liberating. Yeah. I also love how in the High Priestess and in the Four of Swords, and also, I don't even know if I said what the cards are. There's the Three of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Four of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Cups, the Fool at the bottom of the deck. And also, this is, I believe, the first reading where we have at least one card that has another person on it. I know, like, there's been another reading that was, talking about evaluating your partnerships, your, relationships in general, but the cards specifically, again, if I can remember correctly, didn't actually have another person on them. Even the Lover's card, the other like silhouette of a person was depicted as like the universe, like it was like stars and space and stuff, not quote unquote technically another person. So that is interesting as well. And I mean, of course, we start with the Three of Pentacles, we end with the Two of Cups, and both of those cards do speak to us in relation to other people. The Three of Pentacles talks more about collaboration and teamwork, working together, contracts, negotiation as well. And I always see this card as being like a group project that everybody actually does their work for. It's like everybody has their own set of skills or, like something that they bring to the table, like a practical application that they bring to the group, but it's like for the goal, like one common goal. And yeah, I've already forgotten. I'm let your inner vibrant sunshine illuminate from your heart space. You'll find connection with others from this abundant space of generosity. And like with the High Priestess, that to me feels like discernment. Like intuitively feeling things out. Also, the High Priestess can be a bit of fate. Also interesting with the High Priestess is like all of these eyes behind her, and these flowers to me feel like eyes. Like, it could be closer to like an evil eye, like, which is, a form of protection. But also, it's like attention, focus, because it's like, I'm pretty sure this is a thing, and I don't know if it is or not, but it's what's coming to mind. But, like when you're throwing a ball, they tell you to focus on where you want it to go, not necessarily on the ball, right? Like, or, whatever it is that you're throwing, but where do you want it to go? So, like focusing your attention on where you're heading, where you want to head, even focusing your attention on like the vibes of the people that you're working with. This also even feels like protection. And, like in the Emperor card from the last reading, from the ovulation reading, that's at her crown or in her crown. Which, the crown connects us to higher consciousness. And even, intuition. Like the high priestess for me is like, being in tune with your star player. And for me, your star player is yourself. But that can be God, source, divine, spirit, it could be, of course, your higher self. Or it could just be like really being locked in to what you are like being guided to do. I don't know if I actually finished my thought about this card also being a fate card. It's like, you are exactly where you are meant to be at the exact time that you are there, So even whoever these Three of Pentacles could be, and of course, it could be one other person, it could be a group, it could be an organization. But it would be finding people who are, or who at least like have the same interest as you and the same like goal for an outcome. I'm trying to think of like an example. Not that I necessarily, I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying, but I'm like trying to think of like a movie reference. It's kind of actually, it's One Piece, like on Netflix, which I haven't watched the second season yet, and in part because I feel like I need to watch the first season again. But they're all kind of looking for the same thing, I think, right? And then they just like bump into each other. And their skills or their knowledge or even their resources, because pentacles have to do with money, material resources or access to resources. It can also have to do with your health. So this could be, finding a clinician or a doctor who believes you, like who will actually do the testing that you request, or who will, prescribe things for you to help, or, like it's more, again, like of a collaboration and a partnership versus how, a lot of people experience gaslighting and just not being believed. But yeah. And again, like it's like divine timing type of thing. With these pomegranates down here, the pomegranates represent fertility. And I mean, like the card that comes after the high priestess is the empress, and she is the card of creation. I'm curious. What the book says about. The high priestess resides in a state of divine femininity. The pomegranates which surround her signify abundance and fertility. And the lunar lit crown. The lunar lit crown represents feminine mysteries. She is flanked by two pillars. The left one stands for Boaz, maybe? I'm terrible at like fucking pronunciations. Which symbolizes strength, and the right for. I really should have. Okay. I don't know. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Hakin? Maybe Jachin, which symbolizes support. The colors of the pillars signify the attributes of duality: start and finish, dark and light, war and peace. The moons symbolize her connection to her subconscious and the natural cycles of nature. The high priestess calls you to tune into your divine feminine and all things associated with her. Be led by her heightened intuition and lean into your ability to access the subconscious. Now is a time to listen to your inner self. The high priestess is a reminder of deep wisdom resting inside your soul. I mean, this really could be a diagnosis if you have been searching for one or, on that path.
Boaz.
Boaz. Nose. Hat. Boaz. Jachin. That's what I thought. Okay, well, the traditional Hebrew pronunciation is Yahin. Like, that's kind of why I was trying to pronounce the J as a Y. I just didn't get all the way there.
You're looking at how to pronounce these names.
Oh, that
More
kind of
confusing
scared me.
biblical names, many mispronounced, so stay tuned to the channel to learn more for reference. In Hebrew, it is said as Yachin.
Yahin.
Yachin. In English, it's often said as Yakin.
Yakin. It's interesting, like these three cards in the middle here are like the high priestess is sitting on the ground. Like that kind of looks like a meditation, kind of pose to me, or at least, just being relaxed or like comfortable. And I was like trying to look up that mudra. Hakini mudra. Calm hands, sharp mind, unshakable intent. Boosts concentration and focus, improves memory. I need to be holding that forever. Facilitates brainstorming. The Three of Pentacles can also be brainstorming. The Hakini Mudra isn't just a gesture. It reflects clarity, deep focus, and strategic thinking. A posture often associated with heightened concentration and decision making. It quietly reminds us that true power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it simply sits, observes, and thinks 10 moves ahead. That sounds like so ChatGPT. Recharge the energy of the brain. Promotes the cooperation between the right and left brain hemispheres, help improve concentration. But yeah, and then the Four of Swords is literally like the card of rest and meditation. But even, the High Priestess, it is like getting quiet enough to hear yourself. And also, even whatever, again, like whatever this Three of Pentacles is for you, whether it is brainstorming, whether it is, like working together with people in whatever capacity, that is for you, or just one other person. Again, it doesn't have to be necessarily multiple people, but it is like being sure to check in with your intuition. Do you feel good around them? It's like, don't gaslight yourself. Like, don't be like, oh, maybe it'll come around, like, and usually we do that because we think that like there's not something else that would better fit our needs, right? Or we'll just settle. So anyway, yeah, like don't do that. Yeah. Let's see what this companion card is talking about. Your body, like a cauldron, holds the energy of what you put into it. Are you putting shame, diminishment, or rejection into it, or acceptance, appreciation, and adoration? Science would have you believe your body is an experiment. Religion would have you believe your body is a sin. A witch would have you believe your body is a marvel, a cauldron of celebration, home to spells of delight, healing, and wonder. Your body is a sacred companion. She is the one entity that will never leave you during your journey as a human. She is always working on your behalf to restore, heal, and create the balance that allows you to fully participate in your life. She is kind enough to let us know when things aren't working, where we need help, relief, or assistance. That kind of loyalty deserves devotion, not diminishment. Shed the weight of expectations. Trim down the thoughts of too much or not enough. Dance like your hips move mountains. Put some music of unabashed self-approval in your cauldron and witness how the steam of that self-esteem wafts out into the world, passing on permission for other women to feel the same about their unique shape. A witch understands that liking herself and her body just as it is in a toxic patriarchy is an act of rebellion. Be a rebel. Okay, love that. Didn't go in the direction I thought it was going to go in, but also true, right? Like, truly, like our body is like the one constant that we have through life, which again is almost kind of affirming that if you have been seeking a diagnosis for something, this would be a positive omen that you are going to, because also like once you have that diagnosis, you can receive the help, right? You have access to potentially medications that can help, which would even like go into this Four of Swords card. You can finally rest. You can finally like feel some sort of relief, not just mentally, but in your body too. Mentally, it's like, I was right. I wasn't fucking nuts. It wasn't just anxiety, which even going back to, the beginning when I was talking about Pepsid AC, and how that has been a game changer for me with PMS. I just totally lost my train of thought. So maybe that wasn't the connection that I thought it was going to be. But I was talking about like anxiety and histamine. because like so many people have said that when they are like amidst high anxiety or panic, they'll take a Pepsid and it'll within like 10 or 15 minutes shift that for them. My friend sent me this other video recently about the correlation or the whatever the word is between histamine and estrogen. Also, like, it could be a diagnosis that just wasn't even necessarily available, because we all know that they don't research women's health all that well. Like, I saw this post that was like a man was diagnosed with endometriosis, and now all of a sudden they're taking it seriously. And I don't know if that's true. I haven't Googled it because I was like, oh, I thought that was primarily a woman condition. And even, like the information that they're having come out around endometriosis and PCOS, it was just renamed PMOS, right? These are things that predominantly affect women. But again, like once men start getting affected by it, then it becomes, a priority, which is rude, you know? Anyway, we don't need to necessarily go on that tangent, but my point, I think was just saying that, there might be the availability, pots, right? I mean, like a few years ago, they would tell you were like POTS wasn't even a thing. A few years ago, they would have told you MCAS wasn't even a thing. But also, a lot of that is coming about because of people on social media sharing information, which also could be this Three of Pentacles. I mean, you could see a video where somebody is talking about your specific symptoms. And you're like, holy shit. Again, I'm not fucking crazy, right? Which you're not. You're not. But to be validated in that way, and to also actually be able to go into your doctor's office and be like, boom, boom, boom. Not that they would listen anyway, but I saw this other post. This lady said that her doctor told her to use ChatGPT to manage her symptoms. Listen, I don't have anything against ChatGPT. I do have something against data centers, and I don't think that it's even about data centers. I think that they're trying to steal our water in general. Like literally like steal our rights to water in general. And they're doing it by, calling it a data center or whatever. I use ChatGPT. I will ruminate in ChatGPT versus ruminating out loud to, like my friends. I'll just, I'll spin my wheels in there. And I have uploaded test results from my doctor into there. And it's like, it's about like being more informed because like, like you really do like have to advocate for yourself, which is unfortunate. But if you are informed, you're less likely to be gaslit. You're less likely to let it go. you're more likely to find a doctor who will take you seriously and who will listen to you, you know? But yeah. And again, even with these eyes, because like it's like there's just more eyes or more attention or focus on specific things, so to where there's more information now. Swords have to do with our mind and our mindset, our thoughts, ideas, perspective, knowledge, intellect. I also see swords as ego, because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego, is in our minds. And this card comes after the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords, and granted, like we don't have the Three of Swords out here, but the Three of Swords talks about rejection and disappointment, heartbreak. But it's how those experiences live in our mind, and the perspective that we have of them and the stories that we attach to those things. And when we get to the Four of Swords, it's like giving yourself a break. It's not making decisions from a place of rejection or hurt. It is allowing yourself to sleep on it, or allowing yourself to calm down, you know? So it's interesting even that it's coming through that way. And I also love that she's even looking at the Four of Swords, and that they're separate from her. So again, I mean, it's almost like allowing yourself to be objective. And maybe the rest part, because I know, like, you know, progesterone, let's see. Is also supposed to nesting. That was the word that I was looking for. Nesting. Early in the phase, the hormone surge often facilitates high concentration and a nesting instinct, making it an excellent time for wrapping up projects and completing tasks. I don't think I actually, the third time is a charm. These three cards in the middle are resting. I mean, we can call it nesting, but resting in general. They're not in motion. And none of these cards either are very fast moving cards. So, you know, I mean, this could be something that it's either like, you know, like resolving itself without a ton of action from you, or like not, obviously, like, you know, there is a need to take action here, and there is a need to work with others, but it's like easy. There's nothing here that says that like you need to, you know, put a lot of oomph or like a lot of energy into it to achieve the result. Butterflies here, transformation, metamorphosis. Not to mention with these pomegranates, it could be like a fertility related thing, or just even something even having to do specifically with the female reproductive system. I wonder if this four of, because I'm like, what kind of flowers are those? I know somebody knows, but let's see. Oh, above the flowers, below. It doesn't, okay. She lets herself rest, knowing she has nothing to do right now. The Four of Swords suggests that you should give yourself a break. You have been busy planning and achieving, making the most of your time and being productive. Your efficiency and hard work bring great outcomes, and you should be proud of yourself. However, it is important to take a well-earned rest to restore your energy. If you have been going through a difficult time, this card is assigned to take a step back and pause for a moment. Go easy on yourself. Allow time to rest and repair. Which also too, like, you know, especially since we are talking luteal phase, and this is the build up to release, and, you know, to our you know, period starting, and the things that represents. And it's kind of like allowing the things that are no longer serving you, allowing yourself to even like check in with yourself to make sure that you are still kind of headed in the path that you want to head in. Make any tweaks and changes, but they're not big. And then it again, like over here on the Queen of Pentacles and on the Two of Cups, now we have this river. We have this flow happening. Even on, you know, the Fool card over here. Actually, let me just look up these flowers really quick. I thought that they were daisies. Yeah. I mean, there's some other ones, but they don't look like this drawing. Because like there's this house that I walk by when me and my dog go for walks, and I'm pretty sure like they have daisies that look like this, but I wasn't 100% sure. Me. Oops. Innocence, purity, new beginnings, and joy. Let's read about the Lion. This reading also feels much more calm than the other ones. There is a strength in your heart that is waiting to be awakened, which makes sense that this would be associated to strength because, you know, again, Leo, the strength card, The spirit of a lion comes to manifest the strength of your heart. And also, I was also going to mention how much green is in these three cards as well. And, green is associated to the heart chakra. It's time to recognize your power and find your place in the world. Trust in your abilities to put your talent into practice. Find what you are good at and let that shine. Find your weakness and accept them. Be proud of who you are because strength is rooted in self-love and confidence. Be strong at will but soft at heart. Remember to be kind and gentle and to measure your words. Find the balance between being direct and not being rude, as well as being assertive and not becoming overpowering. Speak your truth, but know when silence is a better answer. A strong spirit requires a lot of temperance to stay in balance. At all times, remember that being strong and powerful is, at the same time, very vulnerable and humble. Vulnerable enough to know when to ask for help and humble enough to not let power become an obsession. Strengthening your will, being determined, being assertive, being confident. Yeah. That tracks. I also love how, the summer card was also talking about it being time to kind of put yourself out there, maybe make these connections, you know, and again, whatever this Three of Pentacles is for you, I know we've talked a lot about just, diagnosis and such. But yeah, I mean, maybe it is, finding a different doctor or finding, a place that treats specifically, the thing that you have a concern about or you have symptoms around. Or again, I mean, if this is an organization or something that you have an interest in. And even, this card says whatever it is that comes to your mind, that's the thing. And that's what the High Priestess is too. Like, what that is. I don't. If you feel like commenting, about it, then great. I would love to know. But yeah. And even this whole, because also I know, I think we talked about in the ovulation, if you are cultivating a life, cultivating, a daily practice or a daily routine that is more sustainable and more supportive of your own cycle and your own, daily rhythms and your energetic rhythms at that. And speaking of moon cycles here, right? And we have a full moon in the Queen of Pentacles, and I think that is coming up at the end of the month, like the Leo full moon. There's a Cancer new moon next week, I think. But yeah, I mean, a big part of that should be caring for your body and whatever that care looks like for you, whether it is increased rest. Because no doubt there's going to come a time where you're not resting as much. Or, you're busier, or, you have an ample amount of energy, or, things are moving and shaking, whatever, and also be remembering during those times to make sure to be checking in with your body as well. And even the Queen of Pentacles is the literal body card. For me, queens are when we embody the energy of the suit ourselves. We recognize it, we learn to work with it, Pentacles have to do with the body, but also money, our time, our energy, where are we physically showing up, where are we spending our time, how are we investing our energy. Is the money that we're making aligned with the amount of energy that we're putting in, or our skill set? It's also even like financial stability, because, you know, I mean, I keep seeing these other posts. I mean, it's like the same thing just being reposted about, you know, the amount of mental health issues or anxiety, even illness, stress, of course, that could be resolved if people had enough money and felt stable and secure. Like my one of my friends and I were just talking about her chronic health or her chronic pain journey, and she was saying, I can't afford to continue to get tests done without having any answers, which is really stressful, right? Like, and the thing that is preventing her from doing that is money. So, you know, Queen of Pentacles, this is financial stability. It is even, you know, stability within your body. And one of the words that I was going to use too for this reading, and I don't know if I said it at the beginning, was stabilize. I had it written down: stabilize, refine, boundaries, even. I had that written down. Maybe uncomfortable truths or sitting in discomfort. I thought at first like this was a guitar that she was playing. And I also love that this river seems to be at least ending where she is at. I mean, it could be kind of, what's the word? I want to say like filtering into another river here, or like flowing into another river, which that could also make sense too. Because, you know, like our journey never really ends, right? Like we're on a path, and then maybe that converges with another path. And they, you know, are flowing in the same direction, or they complement. Or that's just like that's the end of one road and the beginning of another, which we do have the Fool card here. So stability in the body, financially. Annoying. More noise. It's garbage day. That might actually be my trash. Thank you. If it was. But also, just like, because I do keep looking at this pentacle and just the way that she's holding it, like it is like grasping something. Okay. Are you thirsties? And it could also, whatever this Three of Pentacles is, could have turned into this Queen of Pentacles. It's like all these things coming together and creating a sense of stability. Even, all of these wildflowers, again with the flowers, right? Like abundance, blossoming, becoming, The Two of Cups is about shared values. It's like, I keep getting this feeling of like being able to focus your energy somewhere else, having the emotional capacity to want to, and, both people have their own cups here. So this is even reciprocity. This is an equal exchange, and it has to do with emotions. Both of their cups are overflowing. I mean, like you could, because these cards are talking about, sharing your knowledge or sharing your talents with other people, this could be, like people benefiting from that. Or even, again, you linking up, you making connections with people who have the same interest as you, have the same emotional investment as you in the thing. So it's like having somebody to like be able to share that with, and who gets it too. The dark moon says, I am a creator being. The dark moon opens up the opportunity to explore a blank slate somewhere in your life. Within the darkness of the void, there is fertile ground for a seed to be planted. So what seed do you hope to plant right now? Before the moon can begin to grow anew, before an oak can sprout from an acorn, you must call forward a vision of each of these to their fullest expression. Now is a time for dreaming, a time to tap into your highest potential, which is also the High Priestess. Whether this is through your favorite divination practices, journaling, making a vision board, or meditating, which we do have a lot of out here too, your channel is open to receive the insights that will inspire this next phase of your growth, which is, again, like the High Priestess. As you dream, vision, and dance your way toward defining what the next sacred cycle may look like for you, which can also like be the Fool card. Know that the space you are in now holds the most vibrant and exuberant version of your wishes. Let your imagination and hopefulness run wild here, knowing there is nothing to fear in the darkness. Also, all of these cards are, well, at least we don't know with the Three of Pentacles, but all of the other cards are nighttime. And then the Fool card is a leap of faith. That is the next journey, literally the next step. And even how like this river is emptying out into like this bigger lake or whatever this is, right? Versus over here, like this looks like a smaller pond. Or it could be, of course, another river because it does like go off either side of the card. This could also be a larger river, whatever, though, like semantics. I love that she has flowers in her bag as well. It's like it's taking the things that you have learned, keeping what resonates, letting go of what doesn't. It could also even be like remembering the beauty of the journey. Even, the ups and downs, it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time, right? Like it can be very frustrating, very devastating. And both of those things are important. Beautiful. I also even love the symmetry in this Two of Cups. Like there's that mountain there and that mountain there. Equal, right? All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards, and I would love to hear your feedback on this series. I mean, like I said, like maybe I'll do it once a month or every couple weeks or, whatever. But this has been such a cool journey. Thanks again. Bye.